And good day. This is the Eye of the Storm podcast with the big picture technical update for the NASDAQ 100. And it's being recorded on Saturday, February the 24th, 2024. And again, today I'm joined by my colleague, Sasha Goring, and we are going to continue to present basically two counts. One that I'm considering my preferred count, and also what I also consider my alternate count, which Sasha's leaning more towards it could possibly be his preferred count. Now, what we're also going to talk about today is we're reaching points in market and also levels where things should start to look complete and we should start to begin the next move. Now, will that next move be a primary C wave down and then work its way, being that it's going to be an intermediate degree first wave down, and as that goes? Or are we going to be in finishing right now? We have the possibility where we're just finishing not just a minor fifth wave, but we could go one further where it's not a minor five, but it's the minor third wave finishing up here above 18,000. And if that's the case, then we'll be dropping in a minor fourth wave. That's more of the alternate count. So we're also going to show you today the levels where one would take over the other. And if it dropped below this particular level, then indeed it is not a minor fourth wave. So we're going to present a preferred, and then we get into the alternate, and you're going to see the levels where one would take over from the other. Because remember, what it truly does break down to, it is the market itself that is going to dictate and tell us what is on the way, what is happening within the market. So we are just presenting guidelines. We are just presenting areas of where the market has the potential to get to, both upside and downside, without necessarily saying this is definitively what is going to happen. That I don't believe is possible when we're using Elliott or even when we're using Fibonacci. Both are guidelines. It's the market itself, and it is reacting to what's happening within it. So we're interpreting human emotional reactions, but we're interpreting what the market's reacting to and how that then fits in to our labeling, our counts. So I'm going to begin today. And so my preferred count remains that we are within the finishing stages of the primary B wave. And that primary B wave began in October of 2022. So basically, I have it off of this low, and within primary wave B, it's going to consist of an intermediate A, B, and C. There's intermediate A, there's intermediate wave B, so we're still in that intermediate C wave. Intermediate wave C will consist of 5 waves of minor degree. And so within that, I've labeled minor 1, 2, 3, and 4, putting us in that minor 5. Now, this is where we might have that first change. And what that change could be, I'm going to bring this back down. First of all, just to tell you, just off the bat, it would be that what we're finishing here is I would have to drop these to a minute level. Excuse me, it would be a minute wave 5, and these would be minuet degrees. You might think that's a little bit too large, but there is that possibility, and that would put minor wave 3 up here where all of this tops out. Sasha will go into more detail on that because that is a part of his preferred count or an alternate count to what I'm presenting. So, but based on the fact that what we're looking at is the possibility of minute waves 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to drop this down to my hourly chart. So we're looking actually, well, let me go one more, and I should be able to show more. So we have 1, 2, and then we got 3, 4. So this takes us to last week. Just prior, we saw the market drop down to 17,372.75 to put in wave 4, and that came on NVIDIA's earnings. Prior to NVIDIA's earnings, we saw them hit the stock, hit the stock, hit the stock. They really brought it down. They did end up blowing the doors off. They did end up really giving some strong forward guidance, and the market in NVIDIA just absolutely exploded higher. And the day after, the stock was up over 100. And then the follow-up took the stock from, I think the low prior to the earnings being released was like I want to say 642. I could be off by a little bit. And it ran to 800 the next day. So that's quite a climb. In the process, a lot of other, anything AI related or chip related followed along for the ride. So we saw a turn in the market in general within the NASDAQ, but we also had a big upside move across the board in all of them. Not so strong in the Russell, but we saw a very strong move in the Dow. We saw a strong move in the NASDAQ, and we saw a strong move in the S&P. Dealing with the NASDAQ, I continue to feel that we are within an expanding diagonal triangle to finish minor wave 5 of intermediate wave C, and then in turn primary wave B. And I consider that because within the diagonal, I've gone back through my own research and just kind of looked that what we're being told about a diagonal triangle and a finishing is that it does count out as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but waves 1, 3, and 5 will become zigzags. So in other words, they're going to be in a 5, 3, 5. So they're ABCs within themselves. So all 5 waves count as ABCs. And let me just go back out to my wave 4 so I can show you that. And we're over here. So here we have wave 1, and it basically is an A, B, C. And here's where things get tricky with Elliott, because it's a matter of opinion. But you will hear many Elliott analysts tell you that all 5s can count as 3 and all 3s can count as 5. And in this case, I'm counting that as an A, B, C, A, B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C. Now, and Sasha's going to tell you what his view is, and that's fine. So we have the 3, and then we have wave 2 was 3, wave 3 was 3, and again 5, 3, 5. And then we had this very large but pretty strong 4th wave, which initially broke below the boundaries for the triangle, the trend lines, but it just turned it into an expanding. So everything else fits, and an expanding does occur. They're not super often, but they do occur. And this is across many markets, not just necessarily the equity indexes or equity, the individual stocks. We'll see it in Forex. We see it in other commodities. We see it in treasuries. It does happen across the board. So here we have the expanding triangle. Now, within that, there was wave 4, and we're launching higher. So here's where we try to determine, where are we within this? So I've marked it. It's only a suggestion. So we're looking at where the market can come back to. So I'm trying to get points of support. But again, if I bring this down, and I'm going to again bring it down to my hourly chart, so now we're looking inside, I cannot necessarily count a clean 5 up to put in that A wave. So it would be a wave A of minute wave 5. So we're leaving open the potential that we might have one more rise up. And if that's the case, then I need to go inside this. Let me see if I can do this, because we're going to be looking at 1, 2, all right? And let's just say, if we're looking at, if this is the 2, and I can show you where we can put fibs for what the possible wave 4 can be. Well, here we have, now again, remember, those are these inside ones are going to be for the small 4. We've already come down, but if we're going to come down to 382, that's 17,865. So we could drop and then rise again, right? But if this was enough, right, because it comes down to 236 on both levels, right? This one exceeded a little bit. Maybe this comes down, maybe we go a little bit further. And if that's the case, let's go one more. And let me take this off, because what I want to show you then is if we're moving that, if we're considering that we still have one last rise up, what do we use? Well, again, we're using fibs, and we're comparing this small wave 1, and we're running it over to what the 4 would be. And what was that? 17,000. I'm going to put it right well, I'm going to put it right here, just because that's where I can see a low this far, and it can come down and equal that. It might even come down to here. But I think we had 17,008, which would put it down into here. Yeah, that's where it was. Let me just kind of edit that. And 865 was the number. Put that in, and then we're going to get our numbers here. So you can see very quickly. And yeah, coming down there, 100% is only here. So 1.618 really doesn't even take us above there. So we got to go looking at 2.618. Because this is the fibs. This is how that all kind of comes in. Sasha's going to show you some different calculations, and they're okay. They're Fibonacci calculations. So using the Fibonacci sequence, and they may fit, because often through Sasha's work, this is where they go. So a true blue stuck Elliottician, which I sometimes call myself, like a very hard line, it doesn't necessarily fit on an Elliott basis. But guess what? The market doesn't always have to respect Elliott. In fact, most of the time it doesn't. So again, we allow this because I cannot disagree with them as the staunch Elliottician. So, but one more time, 1.618, I suspect, could be, even if it only comes down to here, and then we start to go again, and to finish this first A wave up, then definitely we're looking at 18,250, which is again 1.236. That's the primary B wave. It is going to be some resistance, and it may finish it. It may finish it. To be honest with you, as long as I can count, no matter where this thing ends, if I can count 5 waves up, you can consider wave 5 done. Clean, right? Clean. And that could happen anywhere above 18,144, which is the current high. Anything above that, well, it could complete the 5, and then we start the B wave. But on a Fibonacci basis, well, we have 18,144.75. That's resistance. We have 18,250. Now, fib for the move, 2.618, is 18,309. So we're not saying that that's where the market's going to go. We're just saying that's an indication. If this level breaks, which I would suspect it would be easily broken, this would be our next level on a Fibonacci basis. We have others coming up, but we were just looking for the completion of wave A of 5. And then we'll get our pullback. These would switch. So what I've now shown you, and I'm going to take them off so as not to be confusing. We're allowing for the completion of a 5th wave within this initial A wave up of minute 5. And in doing so, both of us agree that really we can only complete 3 up to here. If we're going 1, 2, this is still just 5 up for 3. And this is a 4 within this initial A wave. And then leaves us to, we still have a 5th wave. Now we both agree that it really just needs to get itself above 18,145 to complete. And once it gets there, we'll be looking at the structure. Fib-wise, we're giving you these additional levels, and they're important, but it doesn't suggest or mean that's where the market has to go. Okay, so, and then we get a B wave. Now, depending, so I'm leaving that up. I'm going to take these down for right now so as not to be confusing. because what if the potential that the market just continues to drop and we're to break below that 17,865 level and starts dropping down towards 849, which is going to be more consistent with if we get down lower to a B wave. Now, here's the kicker. Inside this, if it is an expanding triangle and we're in that minute fifth wave, it is going to be an ABC up, but wave A and wave C will both be 5. So it's a zigzag. Remember, within the diagonal, waves 1, 3, and 5 form zigzags. It's still ABC, but there are zigzags, which means 5, 3, 5. 5 up, 3 down, 5 up. If this ends up being wave A and it's 5, then the zigzag cannot really or should not come back below 618. It can, but it wouldn't be what we would consider a flat. Remember, when we're dealing with ABC, there are two basic structures: zigzag, 5, 3, 5, and flat, which is 3, 3, 3, and then a 5. So C waves are always 5. So in that case, if we can't, we would not be looking for a flat here because it would break the pattern. And so then it would come, if it came down too far, and that would suggest it's coming back below 17,537. In fact, I wouldn't look up there. I would think if it comes back below 17,668, 67, could drift a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then would need to turn. If from this level, we come down in a B wave. Both of our preferred view right now is that we got one more rally to finish this 5 up off of that pre-NVIDIA earnings low. But we still have to finish a 5th wave up. Then we get the B wave, then we get the C wave. So now I'm going to open this back up. Now, once that comes in, we'll be able to add another layer of Fibonacci, which would be for that B, then up to the C. And we're going to be doing it this simple, doing what the zigzag is going to tell us. And then we'll be looking for where wave C would be equal to wave A. That's going to still be the most common. And then we have a bond beyond that. We have where wave C is 1.618 of wave A, where C is 2.618 of wave A. Remember, we're sitting in a period where there may not be anything really sitting behind it, but the market is pretty steady, and at least within the Magnificent Seven, or at least within the high-tech stocks, of just continuing to push and to push and to push and to push. And there's several different things that people can say. It's a bubble, it's this, it's that. It's like, well, it's the lamest bubble that we've seen in a long time. But I can make correlations to because I was trading back in the early 2000s when the NASDAQ was going through and building itself up to the dot-com bust and what we saw happen there. So I can make some correlations between the two, but in reality, I'm finding that many, many, many of the stocks that are in the NASDAQ are, in my view, extremely overbought. They're overvalued. And that alone can produce a strong downswing. But I'm also finding that because a lot of new models are being implemented, and again, they're just building them off of what they're hearing from earnings reports. And if things remain the same, so if the status quo doesn't change, then these would be the expectations. They continue to build that, well, that stock or this stock can get up to this level. So that's how we come about. So what are they going to redo NVIDIA on? NVIDIA is going to 1,000. NVIDIA is going to 1,200. Very possible. Does it mean that's what's going to happen? No. They're just giving you what their input is telling them. So, but we know that the market is going to react to it. Let's just say that. On top of that, we have other stocks that are just like bananas. The volatility within the equity markets has gone crazy. And so there's a lot of other things that are just really being drawn in than just a fundamental. In fact, I don't think fundamentally there's much left to kind of put in here. to say this is what we're going to base our guidelines on or whatever. But now, for wave 5, I'm marking several areas. The cluster that I had here kind of has gotten a little bit different, and I still need additional points. Like right now, I have, this should be for minute wave 5. The 100% is, where did they go? I've got them here. Oh, that's a trend line. Excuse me. My bad. Let me go out back to my 4-hour and go like this because I need to put those back in. And we're going to go there to there, way over to here. And that's what I forgot. So we can see that 100% is, what's this one? Those are retracements. I'm going to take those out. And 100% has already been exceeded. Came back down, but it's already been exceeded. So let me go in here and go to edit. The first thing I'm going to take out is a 618. And I'm going to take out the 1 because it's been exceeded. It's coming back down. So we're looking for much higher. So now we're going to keep going. Where do we have 1 point? Come on. 1.618 is 18,527. So our cluster, we have 18,250. That is the primary B wave. We have minor wave 5, 1.618 at 18,376. We have minute wave 5, 1.618 at 18,257. So that actually is the zone, and it will all be dependent on the structure. Minor wave 5 will complete as minute wave 5 gets up there. So I would think that these will be exceeded. And here we have that upper trend line intersects here, but if I move it out to probably where that market is going to be trading, we're up 18,600. So there will be other Fibonacci that I think that Sasha will be able to add, which are good, but they're just not necessarily connected more strongly to Elliott, but they are Fibonacci sequences. So we'll include those when we're coming into here. But then we need to keep going, see where our next levels are. This is the C wave, by the way. The C wave would be 100%, would be equal to the A wave at 20,300. But again, wave C would be complete, intermediate wave C will be complete when we can finish 5 waves of minor degree. But remember what I just said. This could be, what if this, again, bringing this back, what if wave 3 gets moved up to here? This becomes much, much stronger. And all of these levels will switch. And then it could change to where it's not a primary B wave. This is why we're presenting our alternates. Now, we're getting to levels where one will take over the other. So again, please understand that when we're presenting this isn't a case of somebody being right or wrong. Nobody's been misguided. We've been in a primary B wave. My preferred count has been a primary B wave counter trend rally. So I've continued to present higher levels all the way along. But somebody might say, well, you're looking for a top. It's like, no, I'm just following what the market is telling me. My bigger count tells me we should reach a high and then come more strongly lower. So it's how you want to play it, folks. It's how you want to really interpret. No matter what, we're going to reach a top and we're going to come down pretty quick and pretty hard, whether it's going to be a minor 4th wave or it's going to be part of a larger primary C wave. We're going to give you those markers too. So you'll be able to determine as we start coming down. But don't misunderstand whether it's going to finishing minor 3 or whether it's finishing minor 5. It's still a pretty strong top that we're coming up to. And we're looking for a pretty strong decline. It's like that decline will have limitations depending on the degree. And that's where we're going to go to right next. So I'm presenting some levels. That's how they stand right now. As the market continues to trade, we will be able to move out and put up different fibs that will should continue to be correlated to what the market is actually doing. All right, I'm going to finish there. And now I'm going to bring in, so I'm going to stop my share. And Sasha, you go right ahead, put yours up.
Yes.
And then we're ready. And by the way, Sasha and I have already really gone over our counts. So, because you all, thank you so much for the comments, by the way. We really appreciate it. And everybody basically was commenting that they really did like the fact of us joining forces and combining our work. And that's what we're continuing to do. So in advance of this actually happening, he and I really have had some pretty long conversations about what we're presenting and why and how. So we're trying to be very clean. We're trying to be as accurate as we possibly can be, but we don't necessarily agree on every single point. And guess what, folks?
We agree on the most ones.
We do agree on the most, you're right, but we don't agree on all of them. But I want people to understand that's okay. That's why we have alternate counts.
Yes. And this is also part of, making Elliott or doing Elliott is kind of from analyst to analyst different. So nobody has a crystal ball and can predict the future. So this whole thing, like doing Elliott, counting Elliott, is really from person to person different how you see the market. And that's why we have alternate accounts or alternate counts, which can help you maybe also get your trading a little bit or make it take profit out of that, because when you have more counts and you are prepared for the future, it's always better to have just one step or one focus on one count. So that's why we're bringing this up for you, and I hope you enjoy. And I'm starting now. So we have on my alternate count, which I have on the chart now, is the fact that cycle degree third wave has not been finished. So on my count, I have this the primary degree third wave finished here, followed by fourth wave primary degree, bad word for German, sorry, and still followed for more upside and to complete then primary 5, which is up here. And the count, to be honest, is in the sequence nearly the same, instead of this ABC structure, which is on this alternate B wave, which is the structure for this alternate B wave. So you can just only count an impulse in the C wave, also in the A wave, but it can be 535. But what I want to talk about is that this alternate B in this count gets to move aside. We don't think about it at the moment, and I just want to talk about this alternate count. So I just want to start with one thing. Maybe that's also one thing I was talking the last time, and I did not finish it, so I forgot to talk about that again. So I'm taking this as intermediate wave 1, and I have just a little bit of a problem counting that as an impulse because we've got some overlaps in between here. And this is the only point which gives me some more thinking of, is this really that alternate count which is working? But it's just that point here which drives me a little bit crazy sometimes, because I think everything is fitting perfectly. Only the intermediate wave 1 gives me some headache here, because this should be a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 somehow. And we have an overlap in between here. This is really what's getting me a little bit, because all the rest is fitting perfectly. And as Michael discussed also, the minor degree third wave, which I have labeled here, can really be not completed, and we have to move it over here. And which means when I compare just the look of that whole structure, it can really be that we have to move the 3 here. We get a minor 4th and still a minor 5th wave up to complete that intermediate wave 3 up here. But I go in detail back on it later. What I want to definitely see is that sequence here needs to be wave 4 in my book, because when I compare the the time zones, the Fibonacci time zones from that 2 we have on the chart, from that minor wave 2, it could not be a wave 2 because I think, Michael, someone was speaking about that in the comments last time. Is it right? Or
I might have to go back and look.
okay, because this is also what I thought I was reading in the comments, that someone asked if this is a wave 2. And I said, technically, I don't would say that it could be a wave 2 because we have, so this, let me zoom out because otherwise you cannot see it. This wave, this corrective move compared to that move is taking much too long time to be a wave 2. So you want to have wave 2s in either degree, you won't have correlation in time zones with them. So this is not fitting in as a wave 2. It takes much too long time. So we are close to, yeah, we finished longer than the 2618 extension in Fibonacci time zones. This is much too long for a wave 2. And that's the only thing I just want to talk about because I thought I have read this in the comments. So hopefully you can understand what I say, what I talk about, so that you can, just understand it. Because sorry, my English is not the
It's
best
okay.
because
It's okay.
I'm from Germany.
I think it's like, yes, it's just you're explaining your decision to label it a wave 4.
Okay, yes, exactly. Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Then we have this move here, which I go in detail later on. And really, I have to consider that we have to move that 3 here. It's looking to me, I can count 5 waves up, but we didn't have that little separation of the 4th wave into that into that 5th wave of the 3. So I want to really change that later on. I guess I will change that because it looks to me very perfectly that this wave 5 still belongs to that minor 3. And I was talking with Michael about that and before our podcast here today, and it totally fits. And this would mean afterwards we still get a minor 4 and it's still a minor 5. But we will talk about the levels then later.
And
So after,
what also I want to just make sure that everybody understands, we
yes,
discussed it and we both agreed.
yes, we
We
both agree.
agree very strongly that we need to include the possibility that only minor wave 3 is going to be completing.
Yes, and when you watch it, you have a minor wave 1, minor wave 2. This does make sense really. So then we have 5 waves of the 3, the internal 3, then 4, and still 5 waves to complete the 3. So that this whole section here is belonging together. And I will zoom in a bit later a little bit so that you can see what I mean. And let me just remove them. So that means I was for now expecting that we are finishing minor wave 5 and intermediate wave 3. Afterwards, followed by an intermediate wave 4 down. And then afterwards, an intermediate 5th wave to complete the cycle wave 3 up here. Okay, so that would then shift aside a little bit because we got the minor 4 and the minor 5 still to come. So from the count wise, it doesn't change in the higher degree, but it's only labeled, or it's only changing in the impulse we are having in the 3rd wave here. This is the only thing that will change. Let me just zoom in because I'm still on the daily chart, and I go now to the 4-hour chart. And as you see, this is what I want to talk about. You can see it a little bit better here. So I assume that this is the wave 1, 3 of 3, 4 of 3, 5 of 3. And this would be then the finishing process. And also I'm going to zoom in here later so that you can get more details in that move. So maybe put it on your piece of paper that you remember that, because maybe next time when I have more decision after the retracement here, and I acknowledge that the wave 4 is still the minor 4, and I will then also relabel that one and present it in the next podcast for you so that you see it. Okay, let me just hop in, go to the 50-minute time frame. Hello? Okay, this is what I need. So assuming now that it's either the minor 3 or minor 5, we are totally in agreement that we are in a completing point of either -3 or -5. We have to determine that later. But for now, and this is getting really interesting. I don't know why I gotta put it on the 1-hour chart. So in my view, I know that for all the people who have seen my last update with Michael together, I had labeled as a diagonal, and it was not an expanded one. It was a wedging diagonal pattern. And for me, this meant I had the wave 1 here, this the wave 2, the wave 3, and so on. But we broke out of my channel of my channel I had here. So the wave 4 pullback was a little bit too deep for me. For now, it can still be counted as a diagonal pattern, and I'm going to show you how, because then we would have an expanding diagonal trend line. Either you connect it to the starting point here, or you're going to put it here. Either way, it's still an expanding diagonal. They are very rare, but they can happen. And I don't really want to say that this cannot happen. It's still out there, the possibility that this whole move is going to play out still still in threes. And for that, I will just leave it for now like that, as I have it before. And then afterwards, when we see that whole move still counted also as a 3, I would then relabel it and then put also the expanding diagonal possibility on the chart. Because, the market has to tell you and take your decision. And afterwards, you can label it. Because when you label something and you focus too much on it, be prepared for a lot of possibilities that the market will show you so that you don't get surprised by anything. So the way is still that this whole thing is an impulse. It can still be counted as an impulse, but Michael was also talking about that. You can see this as an impulse. Either way, either it's an ABC or an impulse. So when this is an ABC, I want to talk about, when this is an ABC, it needs to be a diagonal. For now, I can count it as an impulse. And that's the problem for me to now label that one as a diagonal pattern. But what we assume, and we are totally in agreement with, is that we have bottomed here in a wave 4. That's, of course, this cannot be counted different. It needs to be a wave 4 here. Also through that deep retracement, it needs to be a wave 4. We're coming off of that low, and I perfectly had marked my zone here, which got perfectly hit, and we retraced out of that. This was, NVIDIA's earnings day, so everybody was waiting for that. You can also see very low volume to the downside. So everybody was waiting. What will happen? How will NVIDIA report? And I think the report was really good. So we saw the reaction to it, and we came out of my reversing area here. So what I think in this move has actually been done is wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3. Still waiting for a 4 and a 5. Because the chart or the price is developing into an impulse here. It looks very, very less volume up here, also through the market, but it needs to be counted as an impulse. We can say maybe that we are already, or we did an A wave, not finished. So I want to see the chart either go up here, do a B wave, and then the C wave, to stay in that possibility for a diagonal pattern. Because remember, in a diagonal pattern, it's all threes. It can be wave A and wave C can be 5s, but all through on a higher degree should be on 3s. So remember that, A, B, C. But I want to just tell you something, because I was looking at it and I said, I think there is one leg up missing, because I can still count that only internally as a 3. And I put the fibs on, the fib retracement on, compare that wave, and I have my 0.38, typically target for a wave 4, still on the chart, and I'm gonna leave it here. And I have also my other trend line, which was my previous diagonal lower trend line on the chart. This looks like the chart gonna go down here. And I think I have, let me see one thing, because I am sure somewhere in between here is also the 100 extension. So let me just check that. So see, the 100 extension is perfectly fitting to the 318 retracement. Sorry, I want that. I want that. Go. So this would be really my target box for a little wave 4 pullback. So we're coming down in A, B, C. Finish that and then rally off again, which will take us to my next target area around between the two. So Michael explained that very nice because the 1618 already got hit here before that correction. So this is definitely taken out because we need to take that high out. Definitely, we need to take that. So whenever we decide, the market decides to come up once more, it needs to make technically a higher high compared to that one here. And the target for that is my 2618 extension between 18288 and 18323, to be honest. That's the target. So 18288 to 18323. That is my target area for that little leg up, finishing either wave 1 or either wave A of that pattern. Afterwards, we should get a retracement. Oh, let's see, we should get a retracement. And this is also the next question. So I think Michael and I will have a next discussion about that because it depends on the deepness of that retracement afterwards. So when this is an ABC pattern, I don't want the price to really, really come down as far as the wave 2 can come down. So I want to really hit that. Let me take that off. I want to take the retracements for that whole move compared to here. And I want to take the 61.8 on my table. Where is it? Oh, it's already there. Okay. Oh, it's already there. Okay. So this is the really area where I want the price from that correction reverse, if this is a wave B. We have one more opportunity, and when we are in the wave 2, the wave 2 can go a little bit deeper, because when you have an ABC in a structure complete or combined, what this then is, so A, B, C. I don't want the price to then come down or break the 61.8 retracement level. So that means we come up once more, come into our target zone, reverse down, hold that area, and go up. If this is a wave 1 to the downside, technically, let me just remove that 1 second. If this is a wave 1, the price can just come down to here. So the wave B, I don't want to break that 61.8. The wave 2 can come lower. Technically, the wave B can also come lower. Everybody knows that, I hope, and I guess. And the wave B should really come out of the box here. It should come reverse in that zone. When we are in the wave 1, in the wave 2, come a little bit deeper, hold that maybe the 78.6 retracement, and then come up. But this has to be determined. I really want to see the markets tell me that, because Michael and I, we had a big discussion about that. And I think it's a fair discussion, because this whole move can be counted either as a diagonal or as an impulse. We have no overlaps in between. So that's why it's very hard to tell you what this whole structure looks like. But in total agreement, we have to go a little bit more up and have to finish that move. Either it's a -3 or a -5. We have to be then take a look at the retracement afterwards. And maybe I want to talk about that, Michael. Or do you have anything I can add here for now? Or
No, actually, I think that's very, very well stated and to me, very clear.
okay. So,
If now this all get posted, so guys, if you have questions, please leave them in the comment section.
sure.
Because Sasha will be answering your questions.
Yes, of course. And maybe one thing I can talk about is yeah, but it's also very, very hard now, because we are not sure if no, I don't want to talk about, because we have targets for the fifth wave compared to the wave one. And when this whole shifts over, when the three goes up here, I cannot
It's
give
going
you
to
that.
change them. It's
Yes,
gonna, yeah,
exactly.
it'll change them.
Yes.
So in effect, folks, what Sasha's really talking about right now is like, we really need to see if this is going to be finishing a minor three, or is it actually going to be finishing
The minor fifth.
yeah, either it's going to be the minor three finishing, or it's going to be the minor fifth.
Yes, exactly.
So, and then breaking it down inside of all that, we're talking about, okay, within either one, we're still in need of this fifth wave up. And
Yeah.
inside of that, we're still in need of the possibility of a small rally to finish the small internal third within
Yes.
this fifth. So we've broken it down, and broken it down. So now what Sasha's now putting together for us, as he just did, is the initial, if indeed it's going to be a minor three, and we're going to come down in a minor four, those are the levels. If we're coming down in a B wave, those are the levels. So,
Yes.
and he's also talking about within this fifth wave up, let's say,
Mhm.
you know, whether we label it wave two or not, or excuse me, minor three, or it's somehow going to be a minor third, or it's just going to be a wave one. That's, I think, that's what you were calling it. We inside this thing, and then we're going to come down into wave two. I think what I'd like you to include is you had discussed, like we've got, this is on your larger,
This is the 4 hour. Yeah.
right,
This
but
is
no,
the power.
but what we talked about before to be added today is, I don't think we need to go into it right now, because we were really talking, folks, about the fact that it's like, if we get all the way up to this high that Sasha's got labeled as intermediate wave three, all the way up there, then that still, and under my count, could be an irregular B wave. So we're not there yet. So I think
No.
how he's presented it and those breakpoints help us to fill in the necessary pieces to build our case for one, either the alternate or the preferred,
Yes.
the
And Michael,
diagonal, or no, it's just a straight five up.
yes. And one thing to add here, definitely, Michael, I think before I'm going to remove them, because when under these circumstances that the third wave, the minor third wave is done here, and
Yeah,
this was the minor fourth wave,
yeah,
then we got for the actual circumstances, we got the targets between. So it starts between 18,578 up to 19,317.
yeah,
So these can be the targets under the circumstances that this is the minor fifth wave. If we have to move that minor third here and then followed by a minor fourth wave, then the targets then will change, of course. But for this leg, under these circumstances, we're having it on the chart right now, that this is the completion of the minor fifth wave. These are the levels to watch.
yeah.
And I think they're gonna be inside. My red box is my favorite target area. I have to just put it here a little bit. This is my favorite target area where the price want to go. But please understand as well, before we don't have that correction to that move, we cannot give the final
Right,
targets. Because
right.
whenever we're breaking that down and we got the correction finished, we can then put up
We're
extremely
gonna put
very
up a
nice fit
lot more,
levels.
you will have a whole nother box.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, exactly.
exactly. No, so, yeah.
So these are
I'll
like
tell you what, folks, if it happens during the week, Sasha and I will get together and maybe do even a daily update together, so that we're really updating all pictures. Because this is the point we're at. We're at a very important time, and a critical time in these markets.
yes.
So are we going to really break and move much higher, or are we finishing and we're going to go through a larger correction? So we both, our desire is to keep you both, to keep us both, to keep us both updated, of course, but to keep everybody who comes in and views our work
Mhm.
in the same frame of mind as that we are in, and so we're all basically prepared. That's the whole
Yes,
thing, just being prepared. And I think that
yes,
that is truly Sasha's desire here.
yes. So, and I gonna really watch on the daily again. When we are considering that discount here and we let the -3 wave stay as it is and not changing it because we have to watch that correction which is happening. So the problem is now I can just make a guesstimate because I don't know where the top is. I have no top at the moment. And I
Right.
really need a top before I can give you that retracement area not to break if we are if we're coming down in the -4. So when we hold certain levels in this retracement, we can be sure that we have to label it different, that we have to put the 3 up here. This is a -4th wave, -4th wave, and then the -5th wave yet to come.
Right.
So, but this can only be said. Let me just remove all my lines. I get crazy. I cannot see anything. It's too
I
much.
know, we're the same. Yeah.
So whenever we have the top in here, and we can hold several levels into that retracement. So the preferred one is for wave 4, still the 38.2
Right.
between the 0.5 retracement. So that is the level to watch when we come down from here or from the top in an ABC structure, hold here and come higher. Then this third wave goes here, the fourth wave goes here, and the fifth wave goes here.
Now,
And then we have to shift
I just want to
everything over.
interject one thing. Folks,
Mhm.
do you see, or just hear, because you can't see, there's no emotion. This is a straight technical analysis
Yes, yes,
presented without emotion. So in other words, it's like, we're not basing this on, oh, I got a bullish mood or I'm in a bearish mood. It's nothing to do with it. It's nothing to
yes,
do with it. It is just pure, this is technical analysis, and that's what we're both very good at.
yes. And to be honest, when you put emotions into TA, this is always failing. You know, you have also, when you push emotions into trading, you always will fail. This is stay focused on the count, let the market tell you what's happening, adjust the count when needed. That's it. You have no crystal ball, or no one of us no one of us has a crystal ball to reflect the market and tell you where it's going to be exactly. We can just give you levels, we can just call out levels, and we can just make a path for the market, which Elliot does. We can just make a path in the market which can help us trading. And if the market decides it will do different than we said, we just have to adjust the market, because that's what the market does. It's just a prediction, you know, and the prediction for a good term to trade it, but always a prediction that can be corrected by the market. And I think that is a big focus to have, either in trading or TA. Don't put too much emotions on that, because you trade what's coming. You can get a good route for the market. You can trade it, and I think that is the best honor to do, Elliot, and to make a good analysis for you and for us on our own, of
No,
course.
I actually think this is a great moment to move and talk about what we are doing over on Discord.
Oh yeah, sure.
Can I move into that?
Of course, of
Okay.
course. Okay,
Sasha
Michael,
and
can I
I,
just do
oh,
one
sure.
thing?
Yes,
I
yes.
forgot that. I want to just put that on. So that is because I was not really ready, but that is the level for the minor fourth wave. So, and whenever we are sure that this is not holding and we are topping, I can also do just a guesstimate for now, because I have not market top in place. So, I mean, they come in. Oh, that's a very, okay. That's sweet, because we are not so different here. But it can, yeah, this is very getting a little bit interesting then, because we got some kind of a, let me see. Let me adjust that one. I did that. And I assume we come into my box. So yeah, this is getting really interesting. And I think it's getting very hard to make that TA afterwards, because either the minor fourth wave or the intermediate fourth wave come closely into play in that area.
The
So
same area, yeah.
this is going to be really interesting. So it's
But it's
just,
over 1,000 points in between.
yeah,
And that, well, at least 900. So
yeah, yeah,
that should be enough. I mean,
I think so.
we hope.
Yeah, I leave it for that now because we really have no clue if this is done, if the spree is done, or is it the fifth wave done? And after the retracement, I think we can give a little bit more clarity. Either is it the fourth wave minor degree or fourth wave intermediate degree. And afterwards, when we stay like that on that path, we still got that 5-wave structure move up to complete in that alternate count cycle degree 3. Afterwards, I must zoom out a little bit. Afterwards, still a corrective structure down to the cycle 4, and then still an impulse up to the cycle wave, super cycle wave 1. So this is just to give you that alternate count in perfect detail so that you, oops, I don't want that. So that you have an overview. Either minor wave 4 is done, minor wave 5 is done, then we have the intermediate wave 4 coming down, intermediate wave 5. Then we got the cycle degree 4th wave and still the cycle degree 5th wave to finish super
Right.
cycle wave 1.
Right.
And
Now,
when,
mind you, I just want to just throw a little time factor out there. We are not talking 2024.
oh
We're
no, guys.
25, 26 on this stuff, folks.
Yeah, this can
is a
take,
very big picture look.
yeah, and this can really take. I mean, we can compare different Fibonacci time zones compared to the previous impulses and corrections, but this would take another hour to do that now.
Right. I think
So
we'll save that for next time.
yeah, I think so. So from my side, I'm done, and I hope you like that. Whenever you like that, of course, leave a like and yeah, ask any questions you want down in the comment section below, and we are pleased to answer every question that makes sense to us. And yeah,
Okay.
so Michael,
So,
from my side, done.
thank you, Sasha. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
I thought it was very clean, very well done, and clear to me. Now, hopefully, again, other people, if you have questions, please ask. What I want to talk about right now, and Sasha, you're right in there with me, is
Yes.
that we have shifted our trade room over to Discord. And by doing so, we've opened it up to as many people that want to come in and trade with us can. Now, right now, that we are focused on the NASDAQ. Sasha and I trade the NASDAQ. And as you say in English, it is a beast.
Oh yeah.
It can be a terrible beast. But we are also in the process where we're looking to add additional, I already covered the S&P, but pretty much to bring it into a trade room, we're going to be analyzing it back down to a 2-minute, a 5 and a 15-minute basis. And Sasha would be providing this exquisite work that he does and this very detail that he includes in terms of the fibs and where the levels are. He would be doing it again for the S&P. I know I haven't asked you, Sasha, but I'm just assuming that you.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
No
I
problem.
just realized I you forgot to ask him. So, but doing that, but also we would be looking to expand our markets, and not necessarily in a trade room, but just in an analysis basis, which is also available if you went to www.logicalsignals-trading.com. You will find a trade room, and where you can join the trade room. Right now, it's $299 a month. But our goal, of course, is that within the first couple of days, that you would be able to earn the cost of the trade room. And again, we're day traders. So most days we're going to be able to catch some pretty decent moves and be able to earn at least $300. But more often, many people are walking away with 500 or 1,000, depending on what the market is actually doing on that particular day. Lately, these moves have been pretty powerful. Now, having said that, within there, you also have the ability to, if you have a real interest in Sasha's work, Sasha also covers some of the cryptos. So
Yes.
you would be able to get that analysis personalized to what you're looking for. And by going through logicalsignalstrading.com, and then you'll see analysis. And so you would tap on that and you sign up and you pay and say what you're looking for, and you can get
Yes.
that. So what I'm saying, what I'm really going at here is that we're expanding our menu, so to speak, of what is now available. So if you're liking what we're talking about here within the NASDAQ, and you already trade the NASDAQ, and you have an interest in day trading the NASDAQ, we meet every day between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're in Europe, that is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central European Time. If you're on the East Coast of the United States, it is from 9 to 11 a.m. Daily. And we meet Monday through Friday, except of course for holidays here in the United States. So if you have an interest in trading the NASDAQ, or just getting more analysis on an intraday basis, that could improve for swing trading and definitely day trading, come and join us again. And so we're opening it up on Discord.
Yes.
So before I was limiting it to keeping it under like 10 members when actually I was running it through Zoom. Not that I couldn't have more than 10, but I was keeping it more educational. So having to have the space where, you know, everybody could be joining in a conversation. By moving it over to Discord, you still can join in a conversation, but it's going to be through a chat service
Yes.
rather than having an open mic. So Sasha and I would be the ones on the open mic and contributing to the trading during the day. And that would also include basically stating when we're going long, where we're going short, or what we're looking for.
Yes.
So is there anything else you want to add to that one, Sasha?
Yeah, of course, only from my side. It's, of course, guys, please understand it's not financial advice, just estimate for your trading. And you take the trades whenever you want. We call out the stuff. I hope it will help you. And in the past, we can just say, Michael, I think everybody's happy with our trade room. And just to add something, we are definitely, or I do my TA for the trade room on the 15 to 5 minute time frame.
Yeah,
So whenever we have moves going on and we analyze it at 3 p.m. my time in Germany here, it's in half an hour before the market opens, the regular session opens. We go through the count and we're going to predict, or we do our TA also on the shorter time frame, which will help you be guided through the day.
right.
As I said again, no financial advice, but you can definitely take your profit out of that. And yeah, it's always fun to work with people in the trade room that are focusing on trading and try to learn trading. As Michael said, we do offer coaching as well, and feel free to reach out for us. We're
So
happy to
basically,
hear
no,
from you.
it's like I didn't actually talk the question. What we offer is the trade room
Oh, okay.
analysis on individual things. If you have an individual markets, do you want Sasha to take a look or me to take a look? Those are available. And then
Yes.
also coaching. Both Sasha and I provide coaching.
See, we are just us in the team, so this is working fine.
Yeah, yeah, we are. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Again, Sasha, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I really, yeah, I enjoy. First of all, Sasha and I could talk Elliot for days. Uh,
That's right. Yeah.
but you know, it's great doing this together with you.
Thanks.
So
Same to you.
I am enjoying it. So folks, again, the next Elliott Wave update will be on Monday, February the 26th. Unless tomorrow's Globex opens some bizarre move, then I'll step in and I'll do an update tomorrow once Globex begins. But I'm not suspecting that that's going to be the case. So the next update would be on Monday. Sasha, again, thanks.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, folks, for listening. And from my side here over in Germany, everybody a nice evening because it's already 8:15. And for the rest of the world, have a nice day.
Thanks.
Thanks, Michael.
All right. Bye.
Bye.